People are nuts. It's kind of funny, you know, you see somebody out in a river bar with a video camera tripod going. There's literally hundreds and hundreds of square miles of terrain. Well, I better go within 20 yards of the guy with the camera, right? It's like one time I'll never forget, years ago, me and a girlfriend went to a movie in Whistler. At a theater there, and go to the movie theater, only people there. First people into the seats. First ones. This couple comes in, come down the walkway, bump, bump, bump. They go sideways and sit down directly right in front of us. I think people just have a natural draw to other people. I think. They're subconscious, they just do. I think it's their herd mentality kicking in, they can't stop themselves. It's funny when that couple sat down first at the theater, I'm like, dude, really? Are you serious? And they kind of look around and goes, oh my God, sorry. And they moved, right? It's like, it's funny, but. Goody, here comes the dog brigade. I'm gonna abandon this. Maybe. Let's see if I can get this go. I'll see if I can get this go out first. One more and then I'm out of here. Dogs and people are a crowd for me. Hey Steve, I appreciate that what you're doing, giving people like me and many others a platform to share experiences. I don't really tell my story to a lot of people, only close friends and family. I ask you please keep my name out of this. I will keep my tribe confidential because I don't want to attract unwanted attention to our tribal land. That's a good move, man. Good move. So about 6 years ago, I was going to do some scouting in my favorite deer spot. I parked my truck, and as soon as it got out, there was a loud branch break. I shrugged it off thinking it was a moose because Maine is loaded with them. I started walking down the trail, then there was another branch break, this time a little closer. I stopped and looked and listened, hoping to see a moose. This area is really thick and growing in. Can't really even see in the brush. I waited about 5 minutes and didn't see or hear anything, so I moved on. About 50 more yards down the trail, there's another branch break. This time it was only about 15 yards away from me. At this point, I started to get a real uneasy feeling. I couldn't see or hear anything, just the uneasy feeling of being watched. I started to feel like I was being hunted. My first thought was a black bear. I didn't have any gun or knives on me, so I decided it was best to slowly and quietly turn around and make my way back to the truck. As I was walking back, there was branches breaking, following me back every 20 yards or so. This is where I started to panic, and it took every ounce of me not to just sprint back to my truck. But I knew this is a cardinal sin when dealing with close black bear encounters. Finally, after what seemed like miles, I make it back to my truck. As I sat there waiting to see if something comes out of the clearing, my truck was in. Now this is where the story gets weird, and why I don't share my story to just anyone. I heard a small twig break close to the edge of the brush by my passenger side window. As I looked over, there was a Sasquatch staring right into my eyes. My jaw dropped and it was like I froze. We stared at each other for about 5 seconds. Then it was like the Sasquatch started to absorb the colors of the green leaves around it. It didn't just completely vanish. I don't know how else to describe it. Then it was like the Sasquatch started to absorb the colors of green leaves around it. Did you guys hear that clearly? Absorb the colors of the green leaves around it. It didn't just completely vanish. I don't know how else to describe it. After it was out of sight, I was still stuck looking at the same place. Finally, I shook my head, threw my truck in reverse, and hightailed it out of there. I was only able to see the chest and head. The rest was covered by brush, but it had black hair and skin was like a battleship gray. Since then, I've had multiple vocalizations while hunting. It still can be really hard for me to go out into my hunting spots knowing they are out there, but I love hunting and fishing, so I fight through it. I will not let these beings ruin the things they love to do. If they happen to take me, then it is my time to go. They are into tribal legends, and they are known to have spiritual powers. I've always known they are out there, but to experience it firsthand was life-changing. I will share that all my experiences have happened around the same stream that is in the Valley of Ridges. I've only seen them once, but I've had about 5 vocalizations happen to me out hunting and scouting. They seem to like small streams that have ridges around them. Not sure why, but that's the only place I've had experiences with them. Thank you, Steve, for giving me this platform to share my story with like-minded, non-judgmental people. Thank you for that email. It's funny when you mentioned that streams with the ridges around them. That's exactly the setup my grandfather had when he had a face-to-face with the reddish-brown one in the San Juan Valley, Vancouver Island. And that's how numerous people have had the experience of those things on going down a stream or a creek with those banks. And back then, way back when I was 26, my grandfather told me a story. I always wondered if that terrain between like the creek here, the top of the ridge here, that terrain, the Sasquatch and the creek, and Akima coming this way, there's some kind of a combo there that assists them to screw up their concealment from us or know we're coming. There's something there, as a combo there. It's the timber slash the aggregate, the bank, the noise, the distraction of the sound of the river, the water. Perhaps the water grounds out possibly their intuition, I don't know. But I am a firm believer there is a combo there of those three factors. Creek, bank, timber. But the Sasquatch has to be in the creek. So for all you kooks up there that think you want to have a face-to-face encounter, just go into the deep timber on the coast of British Columbia or Vancouver Island, or like places, Alaska, Oregon, and start hiking creeks, flooding creeks with lots of noise in them. Doesn't matter the time of year, as long as that river's ripping through. But anyway, it's starting to rain too much for the camera. I got no cover for it. I better get out of it before I toast another camera. And if you have an experience you want to share, get off your chest, share with us here. Just spread the knowledge and gain knowledge. You can do it at email, tellmystory@howtohunt.com, or sharemystory@howtohunt.com, and we'll get to it. We'll get to it. The amount of knowledge pissing in here daily is probably unprecedented. I haven't looked into it. I'm not concerned at the slightest, but I have a feeling this group of individuals, the group of people here, is probably the largest one when it comes to the internet and people in this topic. I have a feeling it might be. And why would it be? Probably because people are tired of the bullshit and they're looking for a bullshit-free environment to gain knowledge. And that's why.